and welcome Dr. Kite and Dr. Kite.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Lexie Kite and Lindsay Kite, PhDs and founders of Beauty Redefined. They are also the authors of the incredible book, More Than a Body. Thank you so much for being here today.
Of course, we're really happy to.
Lindsay and Lexie, there's so much that I want to cover with you, and I know that we have our conference coming up where we'll have more time together. So today, I think I just want to focus on some of the concepts from your book that really jumped out at me. And I think the first one, because even in my own life, I've struggled to really understand the concept of body positivity. So I wanted to throw that one out at you guys and see where you landed with it. I know that there's both pros and cons to it, but I wanted to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, absolutely. We feel like body positivity has been a nice step in the right direction for our culture overall, but we do critique it. We critique the culture around it because our research is really focused on the objectification of women's bodies and how that's really at the root of so many body image issues. It's this fixation on how we appear as opposed to who we are, how we feel, what we're doing. And so we critique body positivity for sometimes recentering the appearance of bodies as opposed to the instrumentality or being embodied within our own homes as our bodies. And so we feel like body positivity is this step. And then the next step would be more like body image resilience, not just a belief that your body looks good, but that your body is good regardless of how it looks. And that we have the tools to be able to get back there whenever we're triggered by those reminders that our bodies are the most important thing about us.
What we found in our research is that the problem so many girls and women and an increasing number of boys and men face is self-objectification. Self-objectification means that you are literally doubled. You are living and working and, living your best life, and you are picturing yourself doing it. So there is a part of you, a part of your self-perception that is all the time or very often focused on how you appear. You're thinking about how you look to imaginary others or to the people you're walking past on the street. So instead of being in a flow state with work, with working out, with creativity, with whatever it is you're doing, there's always a portion of your brain that is dedicated to thinking, okay, this happens on Zoom, how do I look right now? How does that person think I look right now? Is this lighting doing me any favors? Make sure things are adjusted the way they were when I left the house. Self-objectification, it stunts our progress, our happiness, our health in every conceivable way. And so what we found is the way out of self-objectification is not refocusing on bodies and beauty by telling people they are beautiful, flaws and all. The way to get out of self-objectification is to acknowledge that we are more than bodies and that the pain of living in a world that constantly begs us to believe we are defined by our bodies and our looks is the problem. That as we see that pain, we can use it as a catalyst to come back home to ourselves, to stop splitting, but to come back and reunite again and again by coping with the pain of living in an objectifying world in ways that can serve us, that can help us be more resilient to this culture instead of constantly splitting through self-objectification.
Lexie, you mentioned the word pain there. How do pain and shame play into that self-objectification?
They're the catalyst. Pain and shame are really what disrupts our body image comfort zones. So we think of how people normally feel about their bodies. And for too many people, it's a state of normative discontent. We are just perfectly at home, being uncomfortable in our own bodies and how we feel about them. But it's the pain and the shame that inevitably comes in and shakes you out of that comfort zone and provides a disruption. Those disruptions are opportunities to respond. So most of us right now are responding to those feelings, those triggers of pain and shame that bubble up when we are comparing ourselves to people online or in real life, when people make comments about our appearance, when changes happen to our bodies, health issues, injuries. We're always facing those disruptions by either hiding and fixing our bodies, sometimes through self-harm and addictions. But we provide these other tools so that people can use those triggers as opportunities to stop, to rethink their automatic reactions, and instead make choices that are more on the empowering side, the healthy side, and that will allow you to reconnect with your body as an instrument as opposed to an ornament.
Beautiful. And that really is what body resiliency is.
Absolutely. Body image resilience is truly, we feel like, the revolution that this world needs. And when we came up with this theoretical model in our dissertation research, it felt like this shining ray of light in this world of body shame that so many of us are immersed in. And as body image researchers, we were definitely immersed in it personally in our own lives, which is how we got into this work, but also through the many, many people we were researching, that were taking our online course, that were responding to our Instagram posts and Facebook posts to tell us the deep, dark world they lived in terms of body shame. And body image resilience came out of this. Body image resilience was this idea that instead of just continuously describing the harms of living in an objectifying world, the harms of self-objectifying, we needed to help people find a way out, a way to take that pain, to feel it as it rises up inside of you, and to name it instead of swallowing it back down, coping in the ways we always have, that we learn when we are just little children. And instead taking that pain, naming it. I don't deserve to feel this way. I do not deserve to feel the shame I feel by not fitting in my jeans, by aging and seeing lines on my forehead. Instead, you take that shame and you say, I deserve to be at home in my body. I deserve to live for me, to prioritize my experience in the world, not anybody's experience looking at me. My body is an instrument, not an ornament. And body image resilience allows people to have their lives back, to practice strategies that give them experiences back inside their own body, so they're not sitting on the sidelines of their lives, not raising your hand in class, not participating in PE, not working out, or going up for that leadership position because you are self-conscious of how you appear. We want to help give people their lives back, to see themselves as more than bodies, more than objects, people that the world desperately needs.
Lindsay and Lexie, one of the things that you've said today that's just really resonated with me is, in the past, the other models that we've used have focused on the body. And I love what you're saying now. We're focusing on, what can I actually do with this body as an instrument? It's huge.
Yeah, exactly. That's really kind of the worldview shift that we're trying to push through all of our work. We've been doing that for the last 11 or 12 years, because we saw that so many of the interventions, whether they were popular media focused, celebrity focused, even really well-meaning people and leaders in this space, have tried to fix the problem by telling girls in particular, you are so beautiful just the way you are. And there's this impression that if you can convince people that they're beautiful, then their problems are solved. But what we've found is that even if you can convince someone that she's beautiful for a few minutes, days, weeks, months, whatever, that feeling is fleeting. And it also leads to this continued focus on, how do I look, as opposed to who am I and what am I doing? It's that self-objectification that Lexie described. And so we found that getting the focus off of beauty, as opposed to recentering it, can help people to find a different and better value system for themselves. And that's really what this is recognizing that this obsession with feeling beautiful and looking beautiful, it doesn't serve any of us. It's actually really sexist and very gendered. It's something that actually holds us back. And so when we can find greater value in our bodies, not just by ignoring our bodies and how they look and how they feel and all of that, we can find greater power within our lives, better purpose and meaning.
So incredible. So incredible. Lindsay and Lexie, I know in your book that you cover basically how to do it. So what I love is that there's actually a how to. I think so often there can be these beautiful concepts, but then but how do I actually do this? Particularly when we've been socialized in very specific ways. So there's more in your book, More Than a Body. And I know that we're going to talk more about this in our 3 hours together at the conference in November.
We're so excited.
Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.